Have a look here at McMahon Stadium in Calgary. CBC took this drone footage earlier this week, so kudos to our team for doing that because it's fantastic. But come Sunday, all those seats there, they're going to be packed with football fans. The Hamilton Tiger Cats are going to take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. It is for, you know, the only cup that matters in Canadian football, the Grey Cup. And one of those teams will end a long championship drought. Neither has won a Grey Cup this century. The Ticats haven't won since 1999, so they're due. And you have to go all the way back to 1990 for the last time Winnipeg celebrated a Grey Cup victory, so their fans would say they're due. Well, CBC's Aaron Collins is at all of that Grey Cup festivities that are happening in Calgary right now. It's always a few days, Aaron, before the Grey Cup. People get right into it. Are you seeing more Ticat jerseys or Blue Bomber jerseys?
I'd say it's an even split, and I got to say off the hop, you know, these are tough assignments, so Hannah. I do them out of a sense of duty, but I'm taking one for the team this time, the CBC team. But yeah, I mean, it's a mix. You see jerseys from Ticats fans, from Bombers fans, from lots and lots, of course, of Stampeders fans. Lots of those Rough Riders won't go away from Calgary, even though we seem to want them to head up the road. Same with those Edmonton Eskimos. But yeah, fans from all across the country descending on Calgary and descending here at the Grey Cup Festival. You can hear the party underway. There's a Stampede breakfast going on. That's happening every day here. Party really getting going, and the big reason for that, I can tell you as someone who was out here yesterday too, is that the weather has turned and the snow that is kind of blanketing this city is starting to dissipate, which is good news for the Bombers and the Ticats that are both practicing at McMahon Stadium too. So the party's underway, the practices are underway. Grey Cup Festival, Grey Cup fever, definitely in full effect here. And
you know what? I'm seeing blue sky behind you. We were all crossing our fingers that the players would have a fantastic day to play football. I hope they get it because, boy, sometimes the CFL can bring you some really bad weather, but the game goes on. I do want to ask you, Aaron, about the CFL commissioner. He gave his, his State of the League address earlier today. What did he say?
That's right. This is the party, but the day started out with some business, and you mentioned those blue skies. It was a lot of, sunny, blue-skied optimism from CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosie today. He started off by talking basically about expansion and expansion on all fronts. He was talking about global expansion, getting more players from other countries, whether it's Japan or Mexico, to play in this league and expand the footprint of the league. They're going so far as to have tryouts in countries around the world in this offseason. From Finland to Mexico to the UK, they're going to be trying out players all around the world. Now, on top of that, the CFL commissioner touched on that expansion that a lot of people on the East Coast are waiting with bated breath to see actually come to fruition. And that, of course, is the Atlantic Schooners, the franchise that's been in existence but not for decades. And of course, people on the East Coast waiting for that to become a real CFL team. He said that he's confident that that's going to happen. And he also touched upon the need to expand the league amongst young people here. Lots of young people coming here to have pancakes this morning, and he said that what we really need to do is to get more youth playing football in Canada, and he touched on the fact that concussions may be scaring some parents off from enrolling their kids in football, something that he certainly wanted to address. And you mentioned all those people from across the country that are here in Calgary for the Grey Cup Festival. Interestingly, the commissioner talked about that. He talked about how this is a uniquely Canadian event, and we're hearing about Western alienation, Western separation out here in the West, and he talked about how this is a unifying concept. The Grey Cup is a unifying idea. Have a listen to what he said.
We are the country that builds bridges. We are the country that is inclusive. We are the country where a Hamilton Tiger Cat fan today, somewhere on these grounds, will stand next to a Bomber fan and they'll have a beer together. That's the CFL, and that's Canada.
That's the CFL, and that's Canada. So maybe we need to get some of those federal and provincial politicians to sit around and share a beer as the game's being played on Sunday.
Aaron, everyone here at the newsroom in Toronto says thumbs up to you for being such a trooper, for taking on this assignment and taking one for the team.
Well,
enjoy it, buddy.
Happy to do it.
Yep, that's CBC's Aaron Collins. He is in Calgary.